Thank you so much, so much for being willing and for coming to the orientation. We're so grateful for you all and your giving, in this space. We really are. I don't know if you noticed, if you have you opened the sign-in sheet that you see, like we really are in
Uh,
need.
Not very many people.
I think I'm the only one that uses it, but but I like it because it helps me schedule.
I think Karen might be on there a few times too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Karen's frozen now though.
At least she's frozen in a smile.
What are the chances? We'll wait for Karen to unfreeze and then we'll start. Let me see if I can disable the waiting room so that it won't keep ringing.
I'm actually glad you're organizing this, because I think when live church started up again, we lost a couple of people who didn't lose them, but they moved to being in person.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and the last time I digital ushered, we didn't have a pre-meeting, and I really like the pre-meeting.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we have to solve today. Who can
Yeah.
hold that kind of stuff? Because that was very late organized. So hopefully, we can figure out if anyone here is willing. We lost Karen though to the cause. Let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully she will.
Oh, here she's back.
She's back.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I live in the boonies. So I don't live in New York City.
You frozen.
So I don't.
Perfect.
I don't either.
You don't either. Good.
Frozen joy. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to share that document, share my screen, and we'll just go through it, and just stop me if you have any questions. Other than that, we're all good. Can you see the doc that you?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, I'm going to read these first. Should we take turns reading? I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I'll read this first three, and then actually no, I'll let each of you read these first three, and then I'll get into the steps. So who wants to go first?
Can we introduce ourselves quickly?
I was going to say, do you all know each other?
Yeah.
No.
Let's stop this share.
Thanks, Natalie.
Little introduction. You all know me. I'm Reverend Natalie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm sitting up on Lenape land that happens to be in Harlem. And yeah, who wants to go next? Or should I pick someone?
Call from Jeffrey.
Oops.
Call ended.
Sorry, y'all. I forgot to silence my phone. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
I'll go. Go ahead, Karen.
I'm Karen. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm getting used to doing that. I just joined like a few weeks ago, to tell you the truth. I've been going to some of the services off and on, but during the summer I was so busy outside I really didn't have a chance. But I learned about I live in Hiram, Ohio, which my mailing address is Garrettsville. It's like 50 miles southeast of Cleveland. So I'm in the middle of nowhere. But I love it. I love Middle. I heard about it when the fire, when the fire happened. So that's when I heard about Middle, and somehow it's just always attracted me, and I finally joined. And I'm loving it.
Fabulous.
You want to call on somebody to go next?
Okay, Marcia, you were going to go next. So
I'm Marcia Croft, and I've been a member of Middle since the 90s. My husband and I did not go to church for decades, and then our son at the time, who's now in his mid-30s, was 13 and said, "When is my bar mitzvah?" And so we decided to try different churches in the neighborhood, and Middle was the first church we went to, and we stayed.
Aw.
We met Gordon and stayed, and then got to know Jackie. And my husband and I have been longtime ushers in person, but with COVID, I started doing digital ushering. Roger doesn't do social media, so I'm doing it on my own. And I was very skeptical and was sure it wasn't going to work. And I ended up loving it. And I feel like I know more people's names and more about people than I did all those years where I went to church in person, which is fascinating, right?
Right.
Same way. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's me.
Then I guess that leaves me. I'm Lisa Heilig. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am on land that was stolen from the Muskogee Creek peoples. Literally, it's a whole thing. Part of the Trail of Tears actually started like right here. Decatur, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm like, oh, I might need to tell you where that is today. Decatur, Georgia. And we are right next to Atlanta. So it's not really even a suburb. So when COVID hit, we said, my wife and I decided, oh, well, we'll take advantage of this. We'll just go to all these different churches because we can go to anybody's church across the world. And we do actually literally know people in churches across the world. But the first one we tried, that Easter Sunday in 2020, was Middle. And we've been there. We've attended church worship together more regularly than we have in our whole 26 years together.
Amazing.
After years and years of jumping up and getting dressed and going to church, and more often than not being in charge of church, I am grooving on worship from my couch in my PJs. I truly am. I was skeptical too, but I feel I do. I interact, which is probably how Natalie got my name, because I interact all throughout the sermon, all throughout the whole service, because it's so I don't feel like I'm just watching a worship service. I'm interacting. So if I can help provide that experience for some other people, I would like to do that. Yeah. Well, and I come from a very broad background, but part of my background is Pentecostal. So call and response is not out of my worship experience.
At all.
Yeah, it's not out of my experience. So.
Well, thank you all. So grateful. As I said, let me get back into the sharing.
Yeah. I have a really important question though, Reverend Natalie. If we're ushers, do we have to wear white gloves?
You want to. If it's that sort of keyboard you have set up for yourself. Okay, so Karen, why don't you read the first bullet point, and then Marcia, right?
Right.
The second one, Elisa, the third one, okay?
Digital ushers are vital in creating a welcoming environment in the online space.
In the same way, ushers and greeters provide the first impression for anyone walking through the doors of Middle Church, digital ushers set the tone for anyone coming online to worship with Middle Church.
Thank you for this important service. By extending Middle's welcome and love in the digital space, you are extending God's love in the world.
We are so grateful. So the steps to take before Sunday, on any given Sunday that you want to sign up for, is to go to that Sign Up Genius, which you all have been to. Okay. And it's organized by each space. So there's one for each channel: YouTube, Facebook, the website, and then there's also one for in-person. And you just click on the one that you want for the date that you want. And once you do that, it'll say, okay, well, can we have your name and address and emails? I mean, your first and last name and email, so that we can actually know that you're signed up. That's how it records you. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Set yourself up in that system, and then from then on, you just have to click it, and it'll be like, oh yeah, we know you. And then just make sure that you are checking to see what platforms already have somebody. So if you are generally a Facebook person, but you see that there are like 3 people already on Facebook, maybe check out the website that Sunday that you were planning to usher, or check out YouTube. And just check also in that being on an usher on YouTube, double check your name for your accounts. I think we're going to get to that in a second. Just to make sure that the name actually says your name, and not like, I don't know, Speed Racer, something like that. And that is pretty much what you need to know about the sign up. It says know that the 3 head ushers are divided between the sites already as our staff, middle staff. We don't have head ushers for the online space at this time. If any of you are feeling so led, that's the person who would start the Zoom meeting, that kind of thing. But yeah, so right now what's happening is a few of the staff members are online, a few are in person. Generally, I'm online every Sunday. Ben is online. Alicia and or Elise. It kind of depends with those two, but for sure, generally myself and Ben. There will be some Sundays coming up in November where I will not be on, like 3 Sundays in a row, but Ben will still be on the back end. So we're looking to like kind of spread out our lay people to help us cover that. And then the night before, you just want to familiarize yourself with this document and the steps and protocols, and reach out to me if you have any questions. And then on Sunday mornings, we'll just touch base. This would be something that you all would do to confirm where you're going to be, to pray, to go over the bulletin and whatever's happening after worship. A lot of that might happen at this point via email instead of the Zoom meeting, until we can find someone who's willing to hold that Zoom meeting. So it may be an email at like 9:30 in the morning, or 10, something like that. That's like, hey, just so you know, here's like the bulletin link. Here's what's happening after worship that you might want to share, that kind of stuff. And then you go to the middle website and make sure you have the link for the bulletin to share if somebody asks for it at some point during worship. And also keep that texting number on hand. And people can text the word bulletin. They can text calendar. They can, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. They can text POP for the passing of the peace Zoom room, or they can text donate. They can also text care. We have a bunch of things that they can text, but these are the things that if somebody asks, you can be like, boom, here's that number. Easy does it, By 11:40 at the latest, you want to go ahead and be into whatever space whatever platform you are going to be in, and begin ushering and as yourself. So in your personal Facebook account, you just need to say, hi, I am so-and-so, and I'll be ushering today. And just make sure that you announce yourself at the beginning. Again, with the whole name change, this is really a YouTube thing. Facebook makes you have your real name. And also for the live stream, you have to enter a name. So just make sure that you use a name that is yours, that people know. Introduce yourself, and then just begin welcoming everybody who is in the comments, and seeing how you can help start conversation, saying hi to as many people as you can. So if there's a few of you on one, then be like, okay, I'm going to get this person, while they get this one, and then you can go back and catch the other people. Trying to make sure that as many people say hi to a person. Once worship begins, you're just going to follow and echo the worship celebration. And I share a bunch of posts that are easy to like kind of help comment on. So the bulletin is one. Really trying to get people to share the bulletin, saying, are you singing along, that kind of stuff, so they know that they should open the bulletin and look and see what's in there. Or if you know that there's something amazing coming, you're like, oh, I just opened the bulletin, there's going to be something really cool later. They might text in, et cetera, et cetera. Any questions so far? Let me stop there. Great. Okay. So the 4 moments that you want to make sure that you echo in every worship celebration is the prayer. Just making sure that people know that it's a safe place to, as safe as we can make it, obviously, safe place to share things that are on their heart. if you have something that you are holding, that's a good place to start. Like people tend to feel safer if they see somebody else is doing it. And you can make that as personal as you want. It's up to you. I often will say, something personal and then something that's like a little more global. So like the personal, the communal, and then like the global. When I have time to do ushering responsibilities, so that's a really great place to start. Is being like, how can we pray for you and with you? Here's how you can pray for me and with me. Passing of the peace. We have that Zoom room, but don't go to the Zoom room. Stay on your platform and pass the peace with the people who are not in the Zoom room, and be sure to call them by their name. And then join the movement. Make sure that you invite people to join us. Ask people if they are members. Are you a member? We'd love to have you. No matter, obviously where they live. You all are all over the place. And then invite people to donate. Reminding them of our goals. We have a whole new church to build now. So we have to like figure out how to pay for it. And we have a congregational goal of $1 million. Can we get the actual congregation to donate that much, right? Like it goes a long way for us looking for funding if we can say that our own community also supports it. So any of that stuff you get out when you're doing donating. And if you see the donate, this one's really big. If you see the donate link that I post, please, if you're on Facebook, this is only a Facebook thing, like and or comment on that one, because it'll help boost it. More people will see it that way. I'll pin it anyway, but outside of the actual worship itself, the comments that get seen, like on a Wednesday or whatever, later on in the week when somebody might run into it, are the ones that have the most likes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
good to know. I didn't realize that.
So it helps
I
us.
didn't either.
It helps with visibility.
Mhm.
And then
That makes sense.
yeah, and then personal reflections are really powerful. So if you have your own anecdote, a friend who like is in the community and has a really powerful story that you want to share, if you think that they wouldn't mind it, you can say those sorts of things at that time. That might help someone feel moved to come on into the fold, as they say. And then often I will share the prayer and scripture number. And if you want to like co-sign that, you can. I tend to share the calendar as well. This is a good time to also tell people they can text that number to get it. The same with donating. And then during the sermon, if any conversation we try and hold to whatever's happening in the sermon itself. So please feel free to continue conversation, but we just want to make sure that it's about like whatever the sermon is. And then towards the end of the celebration, just begin inviting people to whatever the next thing is. So there's always a chat and chew right after worship that begins at 12:45. This time is wrong, my apologies. It begins at 12:45. And everybody's welcome. It's very easy. That link is the link to register to get there. And if you're in a small group, you can invite people to go. If you heard something or saw a Sunday slide earlier in worship, like at 11:40 when you join, those slides will still be playing. That might be a good time to bring up one of those and be like, oh, that event on whatever date looked really interesting, that sort of thing, to help people remember, oh, I should check out and come to stuff. And then, if they want to talk to a minister, make sure you give them our email. And then at the end of the celebration, just, thank them for worshiping and, wish them well, however you would like to do that. If you see any comments, actually, let me stop there. Do you have any questions about this, how the run of the worship? That feels pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. I think the first time I'll be a little lost about what to do, but I think it'll just happen because I to tell you the truth, I've only started really watching like in the last month. So, but I'll be fine.
It's going to be, it's the first time that you're like, wait, what, who do,
Yeah.
and then
Exactly.
Yes. I always suggest keeping like a little notepad of all of the
Good idea.
I need a notepad on your actual computer.
So I
Like,
can copy and paste.
Oh,
it is my best friend. So do that. But
okay.
the
Copy and paste.
for the
Yeah.
I love copy and paste.
number, the donate, this registration for
Good idea.
Chat and Chew, just boom, 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 boom. So you can just
Good idea.
Mhm.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Okay.
share information, like any of these things that you might have to share.
Yep.
I would just put it in, and that's what literally what I do. I'll show you mine when we finish, and I just literally go down the list and check them
Oh,
off
cool.
as I do them every Sunday. So you could do the exact same thing for this, and it
That'd
makes
be
it
great.
less stressful. If you see anything in the comments that raises a flag from a security standpoint, in real time, you can text me immediately. Let me know immediately so that I can do something about it. I can't be on my email and do anything do what I'm doing at the
Right.
same
Right.
text way. And obviously that's just for like Sunday during worship sort of use of that number. So we can take care of it. So this Sunday, an example was we had someone comment saying that they were getting ready to be homeless and they just needed like $65 to like, to be able to stay in the hotel a little longer. And they also weren't eating and, they just needed some help. And so Madge Dietrich was digital ushering this past Sunday and was able to flag that for me because I hadn't seen it. And I was able to respond and give them the number for our pastoral care line so that they could get some help if they wanted to call in and do that. If you see something that also raises the security, as I was saying, aside from texting me, can you drop this in an email to these people that are here? So you'll flag it for me so that I can do something immediately, but also we want the team to know what is happening if there's anything. We had the Sunday before this one, we had someone hit on a congregant, like just commented under something she'd written that she's pretty and she should DM him or something.
Ew.
Yeah, it was really, that's exactly the right word. It was really ew.
Ew. Like you're trying to like worship. Ew.
And we wouldn't have known if that person hadn't emailed us. So please email us and let us know. But that would be the kind of thing I would actually text about as well. I would be like, hey, just this is there right now, and whoever's
Right.
looking in can actually do something about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to say I probably would have texted that because you never know.
Yep. I absolutely would have.
Because it could continue on.
I don't know if it happened during worship itself.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
if the person happened upon our page later in the day.
Okay.
And
Got
some,
Makes
but
sense.
Yeah.
hopefully somebody emailed us. So just so you all know, like just to keep an eye out to help us make sure that everybody can feel comfortable as possible as they're being disrupted in all of the systems of oppression that we all exist in, like trying to figure out how we can dismantle that. How can we do that from a place that like is as safe a container as we can manage? We need your help with that. And if there's anything that's more pastoral care, which would have been like, for instance, that woman this past Sunday who was saying she needed money for her family, the hotel situation, all that. That's a pastoral care need. You can also email me in the moment for that, but you can email Amanda. She's the one who holds sorts of things. Yeah. And in the actual chat, when you see that come up, you can say to them, you can email Amanda, here's her email address. And she can, to see if she can help or however you want to word that. Please email Amanda for further assistance or something like that. So they know that there's somewhere that they can go to get help.
Some responsibility in doing this. Yeah. More than in person,
Yeah, we're holding the flock. Okay. Any questions?
No.
It seems
No.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, good. Is there anyone on this call who wants to volunteer to be a head usher?
No, not yet.
Not at this point.
No, not yet.
First. That's fine. That's so fine.
Yeah, and I can do this probably twice a month.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
yeah, but I think my husband and I are getting our boosters this week, so we're also going to try to go to in-person church on occasion. So I'd be reluctant to be head usher because I don't know that I can consistently do it.
I think that the objective of it was for multiple people to kind of
Uh,
picture so that
Okay.
no person has to feel like they have to be there all the time. So,
Well,
we
if
have-
you get multiple people, let me know.
And
I'm like, we have one tentative if she has two more people with her.
Yeah. Well, and once we get past the holidays, I should be able to do more, but this is the really, really busy season for us at work.
Yeah.
Fundraising and end of the year appeals and Christmas presents for everybody and winter holiday gifts and winter coats have to get out. Anyway, it's just like all this stuff that has to happen.
Mhm.
I no longer am in a church, but this season is still just as busy as Advent ever was
Yeah. Yeah.
working in a church. So.
I overstand.
Right. So, but once I get past that, then I should be able to do more.
Okay. Well, we're grateful for the gifts that you all are offering at this point, even. And yeah, go sign up. You know, now that you know what to do, it's just the doing of it. And you know, don't be afraid to reach out to me. Please, I know that I am available to you, or Ben. You can message any of us privately in on those pages, or text me. I work for the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra as well as a singer,
Ooh,
doing their holiday show. So I
Oh,
leave for that on November 11th. So this coming Sunday is my last one until December 5th.
mhm.
3 November worships in a row where I won't actually be the person on the back end. So you'll want to just email. If you're signed up for one of those worships, just email and be like, here's what's happening, you know, and handle a situation as best you can. But Ben will also be on the back
Mhm.
end
Good.
and can get to some things. Let me just make sure that is he on this list?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, he's there.
We'll drop him an email if you see something in the moment. I think he will be able to get an alert on an email faster than I can. I would put like in the subject like urgent or something so he knows.
Mhm. Okay, cool.
And that should be that. What else? What else, friends? What can I say that it will help you understand the task, or are you good?
Now, this is really comprehensive.
Yeah. No, this is
Oh, yeah,
really
it's
good.
written
Great.
very well. Do you have your cheat sheet?
Oh yeah, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
It's the same thing every single week. I do not deviate.
Or something.
It is. Let's see if I can show you this. Let me guess. That's mine.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
So I uncheck all of these.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Can you send that?
Yeah, is there?
This is all the stuff that you wouldn't want to put all of this in, but like
Oh, no, I wouldn't probably.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't uncheck until I update the new bulletin link.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
uncheck until I get the new
cool.
you know, so but yeah, I literally just go like this every Sunday. Okay, let me copy and paste that. Okay, let me copy and paste that. You know, this one only goes to one page, a certain page. This goes to a certain page. You know, and then the rest of them at certain times in worship, I know when they are. I copy and drop them into all three platforms. So if it's helpful to you to kind of write yourself a little script. For me, that was helpful.
Mhm.
Definitely,
Absolutely.
I would.
definitely.
It helped me. It helped me a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah. Anything else?
Very good. No, I've met with you twice already in the last week, 2 weeks, Reverend Natalie.
Karen just joined. I don't know if you all saw the new members video on this past Sunday. Karen
Mhm.
just joined.
Yeah, I just joined. Oh, I just missed that, I guess.
Yeah, we played you right at the top.
Yeah, I joined service late, so I must have missed it.
You totally did. You totally did. You should go back and watch it.
I didn't even know it was played.
I didn't see it, but I heard it. I was only in worship for the first 15 minutes because I had to work on Sunday. So, but I had it on in the car, which is really kind of interesting. But it wasn't watching, but I was listening.
A
Anyway.
lot of people will do that. They'll just listen to the worship.
Oh, I just love it. I mean, my ex-husband was Catholic and we went to Catholic churches forever, and I just never joined, but it's just, this is just an amazing,
Yeah.
I'm just so excited.
That kind of hits.
It's amazing. I just love everything about it, middle. So I was glad I learned about it after the fire and really didn't start listening. I think I listened for the first time on Easter as well, Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
Easter 2020 was the first time.
That was a big
Yeah,
subject.
we just,
Sounded
yeah,
like.
we just, it just stuck. It kind of hit all of
Yeah.
checked off all of our boxes.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
Theologically,
place.
great worship. Also, as I keep telling congregations, I used to do consulting with congregations. The congregations that had already been doing digital ministry were much better prepared.
Yeah, we already had it.
It was.
I had this job a year before the pandemic hit.
Mhm.
Yes.
And you can tell. So,
Yes.
We already had a.
and there are fine churches here in the Atlanta area. There really are wonderful congregations here, but attending here, it ends up being work because I work for a large ecumenical ministry. My wife works for a seminary where she's training students, so it just ends up being work instead of being able to worship. So, and we love the arts.
It is amazing how middle was way ahead of the game when COVID hit and we had to go digital because we were doing it before. I'm on a board of a small nonprofit in New York that had to go totally remote last year too. And I kept feeding them tips from what I was learning in church and saying, well, this is what we're doing. And, like on the bulletin where there's the Zoom behaviors, how to pass those.
Right.
Because we were more, not me, but the group was more sophisticated about this because you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I have a question. How do you get the members portal? I don't know what that is, but you've talked about it a few times. Is that something we all join or?
Yeah. I will connect you to Ben, who can get you set up in the members portal.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can connect to your state and see who's in there.
I can, pardon?
Connect to your state.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think I'm going to start some regional groups soon because it seems like it makes more sense to connect regions of people than states at this point of where we are. But
That actually makes sense, Reverend Natalie.
Yeah, I wanted people to know who was in their actual state. So that's what we started with.
Cool.
But yeah. Well, I will pray us out. If there aren't any other questions.
Thank you very much.
And thank you. And thank you for continuing to make sure that this is a vital part, even as you go back into a physical building, knowing that, there are those of us out here that, if we go to the physical building, it won't be often. In fact, that was our goal, was like when COVID is over, we're going to go to New York City and have a big weekend and go to our church.
Yeah. Well, I started I've always kind of been at least as an adult, I've always kind of been someone who had to like travel a lot as a
as an artist. Yeah.
And so that was where this ministry met me, is, and being out on the road, and the only churches that had something to offer were giving a death dealing theology.
Who's got time for that, right?
Right. So when I was in seminary, I was like, "Ooh, let's do this thing that I used to see happen on the road all the time,"
Mhm.
And like, how do we make that so that other people can, get something that's more life giving? Um, so yeah, that's where I met. That's where I met my call at Middle. Was interesting,
Mhm.
and I'm
Mhm.
still that person. I'm still that performer. I'm going to be all of the Sundays in December. I'll be remote. I'll be in Indiana, probably in my wig cap. I'll have a 2 o'clock matinee. So, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's important to have someone who's actually living the whole awareness to
Mhm. Right.
understand
Sure.
something
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that really feels substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just there are some congregations that are doing this, but it feels like, oh yeah, here are those people that are digital, but it doesn't. We still feel very connected, which is really odd because there's all these people that we see, and we feel like we know everybody, but we've never met them. They don't know who we are, but we know them. I'm just like, you mentioned Madge. Like, so I've seen Madge sing how many times now? She has no idea who I am, right? But I feel like I know her, right? So it's
Long
really
lost
interesting.
house is what it'll be like when you come in.
Yeah.
You're like, oh
Yeah.
But I think it's really,
my God.
It's gonna
I
be a
think
while
it's
though.
really important that you represent that or experience
Yes.
that
Yeah.
remote audience or
Yeah.
participant point of view. A lot of times the remote part is just viewing the in-person part.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest challenge with going
Mhm.
back to being in person. In my experience, and I'm just talking about meetings in business now, they work really well when they're all in person. They can work really well when they're all remote. Everybody's remote. It's very hard when it's one meeting and some people are remote and some people aren't.
Hybrid
Yeah.
models.
The hybrid.
Yeah, and so so I think it's really important that you have that experience of being away in your role, because otherwise it could just fall apart, I think.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Good
Absolutely.
point. Good point.
Absolutely. And it's going to be quite some time before we make it there. My wife has a very compromised immune system, and her doctor just told her she's working from home at least until next June.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So,
There's a lot. My goodness.
yeah.
Hopefully we get to a place where
So this is,
you can.
but again, this is really odd. I've worked in a lot of churches, pastored churches even, and we have attended worship together so regularly. It's like this really, really weird thing. After 26 years, we go to church together. I mean, part of that is she never wanted to be anybody's traditional first lady. So,
Right. It's the middle type. That's what we'll say.
no, it's just been this wonderful experience, and we appreciate it. And the theology is great, and the art's great. Those are all
Oh,
high
yeah.
values to us. Very multicultural, which is very high value to us. We're
Exactly.
an interracial family, multiracial family now that my sister's married a Japanese American man. And so this is just like, it hits it actually, and yet there's still enough tradition that,
The grounds. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we really feel that because, I'm still a Gen Xer, so I still, I still want a little bit of the traditional, but anyway, we very much appreciate it. And so
Really
realize
much.
that I like, okay, I need to like back this up. When I say people join a church, you need to, not just give your money or sit in a pew. So here you go. I'll be
Yes.
That's me. I was going to say, I'm not going to just sit there this time. I want to participate.
Yeah.
Yes, we are God's hands and God's feet, and this is a
Oh,
really
come on.
great
Saints. Yeah.
example
What
of how,
Teresa said.
how you can do that even in, because I think when we use that language, we are God's hands and God's feet, people are like, okay, how do I like change the world? And I'm like, well, you could just like help us move these chairs. That'd be really great. Usher, can you
Like
please
literally, I need your hands and your feet.
please. So thank you again for all of you coming to be willing to do this ministry. Please go sign up, and I'll offer a word of prayer before we go.
Thank you. It's very nice to meet you, Karen and Marcia.
Yeah, good
Nice
to
to
meet
you as
you.
well.
God, we come to you today in humble service. our community that you have given us. God, thank you for these 3 giving hearts that you have uh, placed here in this space to do this work with us, God. Just bless them in this moment, bless them in their work, um, bless them when they come and when they go.
Go. Mhm.
We ask that you continue to help Middle do the work that you would call us to do. Reach out past ourselves, be your hands and your feet. And we know, God, that can be something really big and vast that we can't wrap our minds around. And sometimes something really small, like signing up on a sign up genius and ushering for your church. And we thank you for all of the opportunities in which we can do that, regardless of what they look like, God. Continue to show us different ways in which we can show up in this world, sharing revolutionary, fierce love out into the space, out into our communities, and out into the world. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Good
you.
to see everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.